Are you interested in reprogramming your subconscious? Do you desire that additional edge when it comes to health, wealth, and happiness? I'm going to present to you a topic that you can start leveraging today to get you closer to obtaining your goals. If you're already eating well, working out, meditating, reading, researching, and you think you have everything covered, I bet I know one little thing that you may be missing that could help augment all that. And if you're not doing any of those other healthy things yet, this may be a good catalyst to start you on those as well. Hey, I'm Blake, and I help guide those on a spiritual journey to answer the questions they didn't even know they had. Today, we're going to be talking about the things that you may be trying to do to get you to a higher state of health, wealth, and happiness, and that there's one thing that you may be missing from that recipe, and that is hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy is a therapeutic technique that uses hypnosis to help individuals achieve a heightened state of focus and relaxation. During a typical hypnotherapy session, one is guided into this state, often referred to as a trance or hypnotic state. The individual becomes highly receptive to suggestions that can access their subconscious mind more readily. Movies and TV over the years have given this technique a negative impression. There are even hypnosis comedians performing bits to demonstrate all the silly things we can make people do, like cluck like a chicken or talk about your most embarrassing sexual moment in front of the entire audience of strangers. What's important to recognize, though, is that all hypnosis is a form of self-hypnosis. For instance, I can't hypnotize you to subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share it, because people can't be hypnotized against their will, unfortunately. But you may be saying, Blake, I know people that watch television all the time, and they look like they are hypnotized to the TV. And it may seem like people are hypnotized by the television. They're enthralled in the programming because it is designed to entertain and to captivate people's attention, much like the internet. However, this isn't really hypnotherapy or hypnosis. It's not putting people in a trance to inject suggestions into their subconscious. Something that maybe comes close is advertisement and marketing, where there are certain tones, colors, sounds, repetitions that are done to influence the decisions that people make at certain points throughout their purchases. But yet this still falls short to what hypnotherapy can do for you, and is a poor example. As I've talked in the past a little bit, I did a meditation retreat in California between jobs when I was living in San Francisco. And when I went to this retreat, I had a lot of breakthroughs and things about my life and this new awareness, and I kind of had the beginning of what I would refer to as my spiritual awakening, if you may. Through that process, when I left the meditation retreat, I really wanted to integrate a lot of these things that I had learned, but I realized that there was something called hypnotherapy, and I thought it'd be interesting to see what being hypnotized was about. I had heard that people could quit smoking with hypnosis, but I didn't really know what else I could do with that kind of skill set. So I looked it up, and I found a hypnotherapist in San Francisco who actually I could meet in person to do a hypnosis with. I made a list of a handful of things that I really wanted to improve, like I wanted to quit smoking, and I wanted to quit, or at least cut back on drinking. I wanted to take work more seriously, have more fulfilling projects in my life, lose weight, eat better, go back to the gym. I had a bunch of things that I really wanted to do. So it was a little bit challenging to hit all of these things at once. I kind of wanted to maybe have some reprogramming in my brain to maybe make these things a little bit easier to do. So I bought several sessions with this hypnotherapist, and I wanted to spread them up over several weeks. The first session I went to, it was kind of an interview process where the hypnotherapist asked me a lot of questions. I had my sheet of things I wanted to address. We talked for a good 30 minutes, maybe 40. During the session, I laid down on a massage table, face up, with a little eye mask over my face, and she set some music and kind of started talking to me in this kind of soothing voice, kind of slowly trying to bring my calmness in my body and in my mind, and then went through this procedure. And it was the same thing that she would go through every session. And it kind of had this kind of flow to it, where at some point there would be this counting of 10, where I'd be taken through kind of this thing where I'd slowly become more and more relaxed and enter into this hypnotic trance. Throughout that process, when I'd be in that trance, looking back on it, I feel like I kind of fell asleep. Like I kind of became so relaxed that I wasn't even there, like almost like I had just checked out completely. I would fade in and out of lucidity in terms of actually being aware of what was going on. But over time, she would actually suggest a lot of the things that I had brought up in our evaluation of what I wanted to change, giving me suggestions about being positively affected by choosing not to smoke, or choosing not to drink as much, or choosing to go to the gym, and choosing to do these things, basically empowering to make these choices that I already wanted for myself. So at the end of that session, once it was all over, I woke up. It was like I had been sleeping. And honestly, I don't know that I felt like really much had happened. I would walk home, which was maybe about 2 miles away after that, and I could tell that something had changed, or something profound had happened, even though I didn't feel really any different. And honestly, I would go about my days for the next several weeks, not necessarily, I would remember this experience, but I wouldn't really think too much about it. Weeks would go by, I would remember that I needed to do another session. I was going through some journals that I'd had from my meditation retreat, and I'd found the list that I actually wrote out that I'd presented to the hypnotherapist for her to help me with the issues that I was facing. What was really interesting to me about that list is a lot of the things on that list I had already started incorporating. I had started going back to the gym, I had started losing weight, I had started eating better, I had started doing all these things that I had asked for help with, that she had put in the suggestions in the meditations, or rather in the hypnosis. She had reprogrammed the way that my brain approached these challenges and the way that it navigated keeping up with them, as if I'd become the new person that I'd wanted to be. Hiring this hypnotherapist really taught me a lot. It really gave me a coach to kind of help set up these goalposts and put me on this baseline for a new place, for a future growth of me. Having a dedicated coach to really understand where you're at and where you want to be can be incredibly helpful. I provide dedicated one-on-one coaching to those on a spiritual journey that are looking to help empower and transform their lives. I currently have limited seats in my one-on-one coaching program, and there's a link for the application in the comment section to see if we'd even be a good fit. When it comes to hypnotherapy, it can be hard to find and dedicate resources to having a one-on-one coach for that process. But if hypnotherapy sounds intriguing to you and you really want to explore this, there are free resources available all over YouTube. The best way to find videos on hypnotherapy is to put in YouTube a search for hypnotherapy, and either take any of the suggestions that are given or add your own query that may be applicable to what you're going through at the time that you want to have a little bit of assistance with. Michael Seeley has been my favorite creator who makes hypnotherapy sessions. He's actually been around. His channel goes beyond like 10 years, and this one has been recently posted 3 months ago. It's the most comparable to the real life session that I had. So when I'm trying to use hypnotherapy to treat something in my life that I want to adjust, I tend to go through a lot of the choices and pay special attention to the duration of the video, because there is a wide variety of what a hypno session can be used for. There's some focus on a 3 to 8 hour span that are specifically related to sleep. If you have trouble or issues with sleeping, there's a lot of good candidates that maybe are in the 3 hour or even sometimes the 8 hour span. Just be mindful about how long of a session you want, because an 8 hour commitment for a sleeping hypnosis may not be ideal for what you want. If you find something for motivation and focus, you can typically find something that may be a little more short duration, where it's within an hour, or something around 30 minutes if you wanted something to do on a break during work. For best results, these things you should incorporate into repeating the same audio. Aim to get at least 10 sessions of the same audio within a month span. When it comes to the topic of hypnotherapy, this is one tool in the toolbox. There's a number of other things that are important when it comes to working on your mental and physical health. And while you may be doing those things, this could be something that you augment with that. Not only that, but this could also be something that helps encourage or aid in those things that you may not have been doing yet, but desire to have. I really appreciate you watching this. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again in the next video.